Okay, my name is Gabriel Abumere. I'm the General Manager, Applied Engineering Technology Initiative, popularly known as Aeti. We are an engineering consulting company. We started business about 13 years ago with core competencies in hands-on technical training. We're also into recruitment, outsourcing, and projects. When I mean projects, we are talking about engineering projects. We have a very formidable team in the house, made up of very sound engineers who are industry experienced, and they're also part of the team that handles our education part of it, which is training in the impartation of modern technical skills to all participants who come for our training, whether in the industry or aspiring young engineers who want to move into the industry. Basically, in Aeti, that's what we do, and that is what currently I oversee as the General Manager, coordinating the businesses here in Lagos, in Ogun State, as well as in Port Harcourt. We have an office coming up soon too, in Ibeju-Lekki, that will be taking care of the people on the island. We have various products for different people, especially in the training and the education part of our services. We have products that are targeted to young graduates or individuals who just left school and they need to get a job. The mission of the company actually was to bridge gap between our tertiary institution and what the industry needs, because it was this gap that we discovered that actually bettered Aeti in the first place. We discovered that people who were leaving school could not actually meet the needs of the industry, and then the whole story about an employment of engineers. So most of these young people, they come in for our training, they can undertake our automation course, which is for 3 months or 6 weeks as it is during the day. The 3 months program is weekend, while the 6 weeks is actually weekday. They take automation and we take them through hands-on training. These guys, the training is actually rationed in a way that it's about 30% theory and 70% hands-on or practicals, as it were, using all the equipment we have in our laboratories, using various softwares to drive them, as it were. Then we still have training that are short courses for people who are already in the industry. There is always need for them to upskill, because as people stay on the job, if they don't update their knowledge, it becomes quite difficult. To reduce downtime and make sure production and every equipment are in top form, these guys come in from every sector, because we train for people in the oil and gas, in the manufacturing, as well as in other engineering services sector. So they come for the training. Those are short courses, and they can still get their trainings as they are listed under automation, under power and utilities, under electrical and control, instrumentation, as well as even HSC trainings too. But for the individual training, we have trainings now for welding and fabrication. It is still weekend or weekday, hands-on. We have trainings for plumbing and pipe fitting, because we discovered that these vocational skills are actually lacking, as it were, in the country. We now have to bring in people from neighboring West African countries who do these things for us. So we are preparing people now to take up these jobs, having the right knowledge and not just doing it with layman's knowledge. So the welding and fabrication is there. We have the plumbing and pipe fitting. We have the refrigeration and air conditioning. And then we have the HVAC too. The HVAC is the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, which a lot of big companies use these days, not the window units or the split. So the central cooling system of a place. So those are areas we are training in. Then, like I was saying earlier, we do recruitment of technical personnel from any level, from factory operatives to chief engineers. We've been doing that for clients. We do outsourcing too, from factory operatives to chief engineers. Then we do projects, because we can be involved in every of your electrical challenges in the factory or your production plant. We can be involved in the automation process services. We can work on all your pneumatics and hydraulic systems. We can procure, we install, we repair, we maintain generally. So that's just in a nutshell what we do in Aeti. But again, we are an accredited center for City and Gates of London. Currently, we are registering people for the June examination. So we train people here to be able to take their City and Gates exam. And so far, so good. The rate of, the percentage of passes we have here is second to none. We prepare these guys very well. They do their exams and they get their certificates to move on. So we are an accredited City and Gates training center. And then we have partnership too with Aeti in Australia. These are online courses that people can do for certificate programs, diploma programs in engineering, first degree programs, as well as master's degree programs. And they can take all these courses online. Most of the practicals are done through demonstrated simulations. You have access to their lab, virtual lab, and you still carry out all the things you need to do. That's another option for those who are too busy not to be physically present. Then we still have our online courses, Aeti courses, that are all on our website. It is you studying at your own pace. You make your payments, the courses are designed very flexible, you take it at your pace, and then at the end of the day, you get your certificate when you are done with the course and you have passed based on the needed marks you need to score for such a course. So in a nutshell, I've just given you all what we do in Aeti.
Okay, my name is Chuks Osadume, Head Admin and Learning and Training. Yeah, actually, it's by taking evaluation of these participants, get to know what they want or where they have, some shortcomings, and we recommend training, tailor-made training to actually bridge that gap or to meet their needs. Some of them actually don't have the competency required by the industry. By taking evaluation of, what they know, we'll now be able to know what exactly we need to give to them. So that is how we recommend training that will exactly give them the competency they need. Because the practicals, the hands-on is not actually there. Majority of what they do is just theory. We've actually been to so many universities, I wouldn't want to mention them, but and we discovered that some of the equipment they have there are actually dilapidated, equipment that are obsolete. And what we have here is modern facilities, equipment that is up to international standard or that meets the international standard. That is how we get them equipped, ready to face the labor market. And given that, you can see they always have opportunity to be invited for interview. But because they lack these skills, sometimes it's difficult for them to be selected, not to talk of having the opportunity to be called for interview. Yeah, like some states actually have imbibed this culture, coming up with Ogun State once they did, we were there, entrepreneurial training, okay? To get these people, or it should be integrated into the school curriculum. Modern equipment has to be, brought to the school so that these guys, when they're out, there wouldn't be any need for them to go looking for where they could get practical skills or hands-on skills. Okay, if this has been given to them while in the school, automatically they graduate ready to face the labor market and ready to, to have the opportunity to be invited for interview. You understand? And given all this, certainly some of them, majorly all of them should be able to excel. All right. So that's it. So the industry, the government, they should imbibe this culture. It was what we actually saw, this gap, that made us come up with a training like this to ameliorate this situation.
Welcome to Training Room 3. This is the mechanical lab. We actually carry out mechanical trainings here, theory and practical. Our trainings are actually 30% theory and 70% hands-on practicals. What we have here, we have trainers, a lot of trainers. Our trainings, like I just said, we do a lot of practical hands-on training. So these are our trainees, our trainers. And these trainers are actually built here. We have a training and development department where we carry out all our researches and we do all this, build all these trainers. Okay, what we have here, this is a HVAC trainer, or what we know as R&A trainer. Okay, it's looking this rough because our students, our participant trainees that do our trainings, we expose them to these trainers and they do these hands-on practicals. Here, it's actually, we carry out both electrical and mechanical practicals on this. So the instructors and the students, they go a long way in making sure that they understand the principle of operation of machines like this. Okay, so we dismantle it and we'll couple it back. That's what we do here. So it makes our participants, most of them who are young graduates from the university, who have done practical, more of theory in the university, but when they come here, they have access to practical knowledge. So when they go back to the industry, or when they are employed in the industry, they do well. So at the end of our programs, you find out that our graduates that we train here, they are employable, very much employable. So most of our graduates, after finishing the program, they go to the industry and they get employed because we give them all the practicals they need based on engineering technology. So that is that. So I just showed you an HVAC trainer. Then here, this is a project that was carried out by one of our trainees too. Okay, so it's a mini refrigerator. Okay, it was designed here, built here as part of his project. So you can see, very simple. You see, this is the evaporator where you have to put your drink, your soft drink. Say you go to the beach. Okay, it's just very easy. You connect electricity to it and it starts working. This is a project carried out, designed and produced here in Aeti. Okay, so we also have here, this is a mechanical drive trainer, which is a trainer that we use to depict how machines work in the industry. We have a lot of drives. We have a lot of chain drives. We have a lot of mechanical drive trainer. In this mechanical drive trainer, we are trying to depict, I mean, we simulate all those mechanical components that you have in machines in the industry. So you see how bearings work, you see how pulleys work. When I put it on now, you see the electric motor here makes the drive work. So it's actually showing how a machine works. So after going through our program, I tell you, when you get back to the factory, you find out that the students or participants in the training, they understand the concept, the theoretical concept, as well as the practical concept behind the working of this machine. Okay, so that's that. Then I have pneumatic trainers here. This one, like the mechanical drive trainer, was designed and produced here in Aeti. This is a pneumatic trainer. Like I said again, in the mechanical drive trainer, this also simulates the working of the pneumatic system. Like we know today, the industry today cannot work well, cannot function well without pneumatic systems. So by the time the students are taking through the hands-on practical, backed up with the theory they have learned in the class, they are able to understand the working principle of a pneumatic system. That's not the end of the show. Now, we also find out that this trainer that you have here also have software that it works with. It has a software. You do the software on your laptop, then you do the project on the software on your laptop. Then you come here, you carry out the practical work on the hardware. So at the end, 3 in 1. You're doing the theory in the class, then you are doing the practical simulation with your laptop. Then you come here, you do a hands-on practical on the hardware that you have here. This was built here in Aeti. Thank you very much. So this is another pneumatic trainer, electro-pneumatic trainer. It has electrical and pneumatic components attached together. So these are all built here in Aeti. These are part of our innovations in Aeti. We build trainers, we use the trainers to make the student understand the working principle of industrial process. So this is a chiller trainer. So this was also designed here in Aeti. You have the hardware here. The principle of operation is of the working of a chiller is depicted here. Okay, so and also the software for this hardware was also built here in Aeti, so you can practically simulate it on your computer how it works. And of course you see the working here as well. It depicts the working principle of a refrigeration system and a chiller system. So it also has its electrical component. So what we do here, even if this is the mechanical workshop, we also make the student to understand the electrical part of the mechanical thing we are talking about. So it's more of electromechanical. So thank you very much. Then here also, these are pumps. These are pumps and compressor. We also do practical hands-on on pumps and compressor. So you can see these are industrial pumps. These are not just pumps in domestic pumps. These are industrial pumps. So the students are made to dismantle and also couple back these pumps. So by so doing, they have a good knowledge of the working principle of industrial machine.